Hello, and welcome to today's Kind of Funny Gamescast for Thursday, July 26th, 2024. I'm one of your show hosts, Snowbike Mike, and today I'm joined by three incredible dudes. One, Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day.
What up, Evo
Mike.
Champ? How are you?
I almost called you Tim. I don't like this energy from you.
I'm trying something new. We'll talk about it in just
Stop
a second.
trying it.
Of course.
Yes, I mean, here's
Greg Miller.
it's always a
Hello,
new
Game Over,
thing.
Greggy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Mike?
Great to see you, big
Good
dog.
to see you. I like this look. I like the softness
Thank
we're
you.
doing.
It's Thursday.
Yeah.
We're almost to the week. How are you?
I'm good. It's like Delilah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on? What's got you down right now? Oh, you need a good love song right now? Well, here's Celine Dion to
I'm
take it
liking
away.
this. There's some ASMR vibes right here.
It's a nice vibe today. It's
Join
just
us.
a chill
Join us.
vibe.
Come down here. Beat it.
Oh, welcome.
Of
I mean,
course.
too far. That's too far.
That's Andy Cortez.
Yeah.
The Nitro Rifle. Hi, Andy. How are you?
Get a little
I'll
cheese
combine-
grater.
yeah, there you go. Now you did it.
I'm doing great, Mike. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Your hair looks very nice. Everybody talked about it. They complimented you. You went into the bathroom last night and gave yourself a haircut, correct?
Correct, Mike. Yeah. A little bit of, so one thing led to another.
Little zhuzh.
Bathroom here?
No,
Okay.
back at home. It was meant to be like a little 10, 15-minute thing.
Is it a
Took-
lot of
took like an
hair?
hour. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely
Wow.
the sides are different for
Yeah.
sure. Like
Yeah.
you can tell that they're shaved down a little bit.
And then the top gets too long, so you got to do some of that. And then I don't like when I go too far on the sides because I got a chubby face, and they just
no.
you need to like shape your
No.
head to complement your face. You know what I mean?
So here's what I need you to do.
Yeah.
As my
Talk to me.
barber, as you know this, I've been contemplating going from a 12 rate shave guard to a 9 to bring the beard in a bit more. Good or bad idea? I don't have any real problems.
I think
this
it's-
side always grows long faster than the other side.
I think if you do 12 all over, and then you kind of do what Nick does, which is like get the 9 to kind of then like get up here.
Okay.
So you
So
see
I'm
like
doing
a
12.
bit of a fade.
I'm doing 12
into the
here, but I'm doing
sideburns.
9 into that. I don't know if I'm talented enough for that.
Wow.
Remember,
We can try it out. We
you
can try it
remember
out.
the old office above the comic shop?
Yes, of
above
course.
Paul's barber shop.
Great
You remember
spot.
this?
I do.
I went down there
I miss
once.
him.
Paul cut my hair, and when multiple times this happened, but the only time I ever did, one time he's like, "All right, lean your head back so you can do whatever." And he goes, "Oh." I'm like, "What?" He's like, I don't do beards, but I gotta clean up your line." He's doing. I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "I feel shamed.
You're
and horrified."
frustrating.
What if I would speak for Chris Henkin and say you should bring back the mustache, Greg Miller? Just
Yeah.
throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it.
Yeah, there's been talk in my own head, and then on the show of when we did Invincible Reacts, I was like, "Fuck! If I had a Omni-Man shirt, I would have cut it. I would have done it, but I would have
Incredible.
But you don't got to go to the skin because you have enough of that good facial hair vibe where you could give this like a 5 or 7, leave the mustache
Oh,
as
strong.
is.
I like
I mean,
that.
I
I'm
like
just
that
saying,
look.
I'm getting ready to shove off for a vacation. Go show these Canadian fucks what it's all about. Like
be it.
you put it on the stream. Andy does the beard trim. Andy can stylize me. You know what I mean? I'll be his fuzzy woolly.
Let's have some
Wuzzy
fun.
woolly. Wuzzy woolly. Wuzzy woolly.
What is that?
Wuzzy woolly's come up before on these shows. It's the guy, the shitty thing you buy at the supermarket back in the day, like out of the toy aisle. That was like the blank face, but then with the magnet.
The
things,
magnet.
you do the thing.
Yeah.
You would little tiny pieces of magnet bless were the beard, and you would essentially just draw a beard on the dude's face using like a magnet pen. You would drag the magnet little pieces to
You
then
remember
put
this guy?
the
You ever
beard
see
on
this
the
guy?
face.
No.
And you could give him hair.
At the Eagle grocery store, he was always there in the toy/magazine aisle. But I was, for a long time, way more obsessed. You know how kids are stupid. Way more obsessed with convincing my parents when we went to Eagle, the grocery store, that they should buy me the play money. So I just had like hundreds of thousands of dollars of play money.
Yeah,
Why did
and you
I
so
think
rich.
this was cool? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
what did you bring it to school?
No, I was just toy in the toy room.
It was just for you.
I think I had a briefcase at one point. I think honestly, it might have been to augment my Back to the Future role play.
Of
Because
course.
remember, of course, when Doc Brown at one point opens the suitcase and he has money from all the different eras, and he's like, "Tuck, tuck, tuck."
That's cool.
Woolly Willy.
Very cool.
Woolly
Willy Willy.
Guys, we got a fun show today.
Paris
for
is here.
The best friends
He's
out
living,
there.
breathing Willy Willy.
Hey, Paris.
He's bald all the you put it in wherever you want.
Oh.
Paris said, "Let me style Mike." Paris, I'll see you very soon. Maybe we can go out there, shop together, get a nice dinner. We'll hang out.
Oh, interesting. Another date without Gary? In
Yeah,
the
I get
works?
to hang out with Paris. I'm very excited. One of my gaming dads. It's gonna
Really
be a good
messed
time.
up. That's really messed up. You do that.
Kind of Funny best friends, don't forget that this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we get together to talk about the biggest reviews, previews, and topics in the video game world, live on YouTube, Twitch, and of course on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, please support us with that new Kind of Funny membership available on Patreon and on YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and of course get your daily exclusive show, Greg Way, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. Of course, for a chance to be part of the show, don't forget that throughout today's live stream, you can submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube super chats as we go. And I'm going to be asking you some questions I want to hear from all of you. Just like already, we've had a super chat come in that I'll start the show off with in just a moment. Some housekeeping for you. Kind of Funny Games is an 11-person small business that's all about live talk shows. Today, you've gotten a discussion on Black Myth Wukong, the goods and the bads, it seems like, Blessing, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Of course, that's available on Kind of Funny Games daily on YouTube and Twitch and podcast services. Up next, you're going to get some EDF. That's right, the original bug-smashing video game, Earth Defense Force. Just got a brand new game, and I'm taking Andy Cortez into it.
It's the original franchise.
Yeah. Well, a lot of you are like, oh, man, Helldivers is so great. It's like, put some respect on EDF.
Put some respect on Jet Force Gemini.
Oh, there you go.
Come on.
Nice job. And Fusion Frenzy.
Were you smashing bugs in Fusion
smashing
Frenzy?
some bugs in it. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. It was a good time. It was a good time. So check that out. And then, of course, if you're a Kind of Funny member, today's Greg Way is, will they make a documentary about us in 20 years? Greg, they're definitely going to make a documentary about you.
I mean, who's they?
I don't know.
The government?
I'm listening to this Blues Brothers oral history, loving it. But I'm just like, it got me thinking of like when they were making that movie, were they thinking somebody's going to make a documentary out of this one day? Greg Way. Don't talk. Don't talk.
Right.
Greg Way.
Blues Brother was in an actual band, right?
It was a band, yeah.
But like the movie was.
The movie was fiction.
That's where I'm at. That's why I always
Gotcha.
get it mixed up.
Got it.
I was thinking they're a real band that they made a movie of. Not true.
Sure.
Thank you to the Kind of Funny best friends that make our dreams reality by becoming Patreon producers like Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twining. Thank you so much for your support. Today, we are brought to you by our own Portillo merch, but we'll tell you all about that later. For now, let's start the show with topic of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an exciting one because Blessing is now back from EVO, the biggest fighting game tournament on planet Earth. And he had an absolute blast.
He's a competitor.
He competed. He was there smoozing, boozing, having a good time.
Booze? Just a little bit.
He's got to have a marg. It's summertime.
Marg.
Just had a little job. I had mules. I had Mafia mules.
Nice.
What was he doing out there?
Smoozing and boozing?
Schmoozing.
Smoozing? Schmoozing?
What did I say?
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Let me get
We've
in.
already had this at one point. He goes, man, Andy's out there smoozing. I go, Mike, it's schmoozing. And he goes, smoozing?
I don't remember that one. I don't remember that.
Damn it, man.
And so, of course, Blessing, you were at EVO. You played, of course, the games as a competitor. You played some games on the show floor. And we want to talk to you about it because you actually played one of the biggest games coming up, Riots, formerly known as Project L, now 2XKO. And I need to know all about it as a League of Legends junkie. I need to know what you thought of that game.
Yeah, so like I played, it's funny, I wasn't there for work, but like there was, I did take one appointment. And it wasn't for 2XKO, funny enough. Like I didn't get an email for an appointment for that one. I did get an email for an appointment for Marvel vs. Capcom, so I'm going to talk about that too. I'm going to make this just the Blessing played game at Evo's section. But yeah, starting off with 2XKO, that was a fun one because that was very easily the most anticipated game on the show floor outside of like an Astro Bot, but like the 2XKO line was around the block, right?
Really?
Like it was at least around like the section, maybe not say block, but it was around the section, right?
Huge.
It was the longest line. Whereas you look at Astro Bot, you could just walk up and play Astro Bot if you wanted to. But like a big part of that is because people thought it was Astro Playroom.
Thank you.
Yeah, people didn't realize it was a new one, but
Once again, fighting game fans, dumb.
it's also the fighting game community.
Should I not pick a fight with them too?
They can actually fight. But the fighting game community cares more about the big fighting game at the arena, right?
yeah, of
and
course.
so the 2XKO line was huge. I actually didn't get to it until Sunday, the final day, which was like literally the day of the finals, right? And so there was a bit more space there. And so I got there early. Finally got to a place where like the line was more manageable, and it was fun because it was this thing of every setup has 4 spaces for people because 2XKO is a 2v2 fighting game. That is the thing that they're trying to push for this one. That's kind of what makes it unique compared to other fighting games. It is being pushed as a team fighting game, so it's you and another person versus 2 other people that are playing together. It is a 2D, very stylistic game, and I think for me that's where I want to start. Is that my first blush impression of 2XKO is that this game is gorgeous. The animation is fluid. The animation is fantastic. Visually, it is a stunner to look at. And that goes from like the character animations to even like just the UI of like picking your character and then transitioning into the match, and like every single beat of UI just looks fantastic, and it's a really cool, vibrant game to look at.
Riot knows how to do it, man.
They do, and I've been looking for my avenue into a Riot game. It's funny because I just started playing Valorant on console recently, and so like that has turned out to maybe be it. But you know, I see these characters in 2XKO, and I'm like, I don't know who these characters are, but I know these characters have been around before, and so like, you know, I've been wanting that intro to them. So it's cool to like kind of, you know, get more into this universe and more into like what's going on in the Riot games.
Mike can be that for you, man.
130 plus champions in League of Legends. We can jump into the Rift anytime together.
I'm good.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any fun, super chat some questions about 2XKO or any of the fighting games that Blessing will bring up during Evo, please feel free to super chat and we'll get those read off to you. Now, is 2XKO, is this going to be simply League of Legends characters, or is this going to be the Riot universe? And we might see Valorant people.
I think it's just the Runeterra world, which is League of Legends or Wild Rift, the mobile version or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I went in line, played League of Legends I used PlayStation controller, finished playing my first time, and then went back in the line to play again. That's how fun this game was like I finished my session with strangers, I tweeted about it, and then I saw that Biden stepped down, and I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Where were you?
Oh, that's crazy. I'm getting back in line.
Where were you moment?
It's so funny because like I was getting hit up by, you know, there are plenty of people at Evo that I know from the industry. So Mitchell Saltzman from IGN, who reviews all the fighting games there, he was like, "Oh, bless, trying to play 2XKO," and I was like, "Yeah." And so I'm like, "Dude, I'm going."
Did you know Biden stepped
Well,
down?
here's the thing. I went back into the line, and like we were waiting in line. I was like, "Oh, dude," I tweeted out my 2XKO impressions, and then immediately saw that Biden stepped down. Mitchell was like, "Biden stepped down," and we had that conversation. Had to break the news to him that, like, you know,
Glad you did it gracefully.
but it was hilarious because I caught him so off guard with that. But yeah, we went back, and it was so fun to, like, you know, play again with a friend, because you go in, we pick our sides, it's us versus two strangers, and it is, you each pick a character, but then you pick a fuse. The fuse is basically like the special ability for your team that round, and so there's like a handful of them. There's one called Double Down, which is basically the
sandwich.
KFC Double Down,
was it
right?
a good sandwich? You know what I mean?
I mean, double the chicken, some bacon and cheese. What are we mad about?
I had a friend that was really like excited for the Double Down when it was coming out, like almost disturbingly so. Where like you could see his mouth watering for this thing when he heard it was double chicken, and then he had it, and it was the worst thing he ever had.
I saw
dry.
Sound Down Selena Gomez take a bite of a watermelon sandwich, and I was like, that sounds good. Since the sound was down, I'm not sure what was
What
in
does
between.
sound down mean?
It was muted.
Oh, okay.
And there was no captions. It was a TikTok. I was just
Okay.
doing, you know,
Yeah,
I
I
was
like
looking
that.
around on the internet and saw that. I was like, huh.
A watermelon sandwich.
Yeah, so instead of bread, watermelon. And I don't know what meat and cheese she put in the middle
what
of it.
protein is in the middle
Do we
of
know
that?
her? Can we hit her up?
Tiny Meteor in chat says
She
it
was
was
on
a
one of
great
Gary Ridley's
sandwich.
show.
Foxy Steve says that sandwich was awful, which probably
There's a
isn't-
lot of people who are just like embarrassed. That's the real thing. They're embarrassed to say they ate it. But as someone who's
Doesn't even
athletic
sound
and on
good.
the go like me, I just need the protein and I don't need the carbs. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I gotta get back to balling.
Of course. Of course.
So the Double Down fuse is a fuse where the point character can do their super, and then I'm reading from a page. It's a fuse where the point character does their super, and the second can do their super or ult. So it's basically you tag in another character or the second character to come in and do their super on top of that one. There's another one that's called Freestyle. Freestyle is a fuse which you can do the handshake tag twice in one sequence. So it is like you're in a combo, boom, 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 tag. Continue the combo, boom, 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 tag right again, right? And these are based off of this pre-match, you know, abilities that you choose going in. And that was a really cool wrinkle, right? I think there's some where it's like after 40% of when you're down to like 40% of your damage, you might do more damage. Shit like that are these modifiers to how you play the game. One of the fuses that I picked starting off, I forget the name of it, but it was basically an auto combo fuse, which was put in there to help new players get into the game, and so you can just automatically like button mash and get into the combos.
Oh, I like
and actually,
that.
You
Yeah.
know, it's you know, it's like Dragon Ball Fighters, where if you've played that, if you like tap certain buttons, you can just like, you know, go automatically. I started off using that one, and that was like a really good, all right, ease into this, let's get a flow of this, and the game feels right. Like the game feels just very fun, just on a basic conceptual level of boom, I'm gonna do a combo and then tag my friend in, or you know, if you're the person that's not in, right, if you're the person that's out currently, you can press X to do like an assist move. If you played like Marvel vs. Capcom where you can call in the assist, you can do that. And if the person that's in wants to like tag you in that moment, they can. So there will be times where I'm like, oh, I think Mitchell needs help. I'm going to click X, come in, do a projectile. If Mitchell wants, he'll click X, boom. Now I'm in. Now I'm the star of the fight now, and I'm making things go.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, and honestly, it was really fun to be like, ooh, okay, this is the time where I'm gonna like try and help him out a little bit, and then boom, like we can kind of get a synergy going there. Yeah, like I had a really fun time with it and that stuff, and like even in the few matches that we played, I already found myself growing a bit. I was using this character Echo. I don't know if you know Echo.
Yeah,
from League.
Echo, of course, the god of time.
You ever watch that Arcane show, Bless?
No, I watched like 3
man.
episodes.
Oh, you gotta watch
I need to get
Arcane.
back to it.
It's so good.
Is Echo in Arcane?
Oh, spoilers, yeah.
Okay, I'll get I'll get back to Echo then. But yeah, using Echo and who has like these doubles that he generates, and so like you'll do a thing and then he'll generate an echo, and then the echo's kind of doing the same thing and following your movement. It's that thing where I can tell that there's going to be a lot of depth there, because even in those 2 matches, I was like, this seems like a lot. This seems like something I can dig into as far as understanding this character, learning this character. But even in that base level, there are basic combos that were like, square, triangle, R1, L1 that are like, I'm doing these basic combos that are making it happen, that are making me feel like I'm doing cool things. Because then like I'll do a combo and attacking in Mitch, and it feels very natural, feels very fluid, and feels very cool. One more thing I'll mention too is that the game feels simplified in how it wants to appeal to newcomers. And so, like I mentioned, you have the fuse that does the auto combos. Specials are also just on a button, like they're just on like L1. And so if you hit a direction at L1, it feels almost like Super Smash Brothers in that way.
You have your ult or whatever.
Yeah, like you'll just like, automatically do these moves. You're not putting in quarter circles, or like you're not putting in like these complicated inputs. It's very straightforward, but it doesn't feel dumbed down. It feels like it's it feels natural. It feels good playing. And so had a very good time.
Were you able to talk to anybody from Riot there about the project at all? Because I think one thing I'm most interested in is like, are they gonna really try to focus this on being a 2v2 thing where I feel like most players might just fall back to, you watch Serena and Venus out there, you see the Williams sisters out there doing their thing back in the day, and they're playing singles a lot, and they play doubles just because you kind of felt like they had to at some times. Like, do you see this on Evo on the big stage in a year or two with 2 players versus 2 players on the stage?
I do. I think that's the
Wow,
way
that's
that.
cool.
Yeah, I think that's
That sounds awesome.
I mean, that's where the title comes from, right?
Yeah.
Like the 2x scale. Like I think they are looking to this to be like a team situation, and like they're bringing in people 4 at a time. Like they want. It seems like that is what's going to make this game stick out, is the idea of like, hey, this is who you're going to main, this is who your friend's going to main, and like. Yeah, I foresee it being a thing of, at the very least, there is going to be the category of 2v2 for this at Evo. Maybe I could see a 1v1 scenario, but I wasn't able to talk to people or like figure out what the vibe is as far as like, can I just play by myself and then tag in and out? Like I didn't really get an answer on that. I'm sure there is online, but I'm not aware of that.
Did they sell any merch there? I don't know how you didn't buy a
Dude,
shirt.
I meant to ask
It's the coolest
somebody-
logo, but like
the
again,
merch?
really bad name.
I saw people wearing the 2x scale shirt, but I think those are just Riot employees. I saw a girl wearing one. I meant to ask her, but then I was like, oh, I got to get back in line. Oh, Biden stepped down.
Icebreaker though. Excuse me, miss. Biden stepped down. Also, where'd you get your shirt?
Also, where did you get your shirt? But yeah, I'm pretty sure she worked for Riot as well. But yeah, played a lot of that.
What did you think of the characters really quick? For me, the League of Legends guy, like, I mean, you got some cool characters just on the 6 that you could play as. You got Braum with the giant shield.
Yeah.
Darius, of course, with the giant axe. Like, what did those look like on the screen? I know you kind of played just one, but
And did you
what
notice
they
any
look like?
trends
Yeah.
between players of like kind of finding out, oh, these are kind of the 2 to rock with?
When I was playing, I think Mitchell and one of the people we were playing against were both using. Was Braum one of the bigger characters?
Yeah, Braum's the big guy with
Big
the
bald
shield.
dude.
Yeah,
shield.
I
Big,
think
like,
both of them were
Viking-looking guy.
using Braum, if I
Okay.
recall
Oh,
correctly.
so you could double up.
Yeah, like if you're like on the other team, or you can pick somebody and somebody on the other team can pick the same
Oh,
person.
okay, gotcha,
Yeah, it wasn't
gotcha.
like the same team. We're picking the same people. But it wasn't a thing of, oh, this is the go-to character. Like this is where the meta is at. Like I don't think people have a vibe of that yet. I was just choosing characters I thought seemed cool. Echo seemed advanced from what I played, but I like the character design. And I like the idea of like spawning these echoes of myself. So that was cool. Yasuo is a character, right?
Yeah, he's the man with the sword.
Yeah, I want to say I played a little bit of Yasuo and thought he was
He's
cool
got
too.
the twister that he throws out in League of Legends.
Yeah.
So he's pretty cool. Yeah.
Ari's the lady from cat lady, fox lady from that K-pop band they got.
I
No,
I know. Yeah.
AFK.
No, that I went to
KDA. There we go.
What a song!
Yeah,
What a
she's
moment
sick.
they
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
Man, I
like the character design though. Like a lot of the characters look cool. I would explore like choosing these characters. That's the thing is, for me in fighting games, you're first jumping in. What determines my main oftentimes is which character do I think looks the coolest.
Yeah.
And Echo stuck out to me immediately, but looking at the other characters, I was like, yeah, I want to try these different characters out. These seem cool.
They got so many cool characters. I really want to see if they get deep into the bag, right? Like I think of a volley bear, and it's like, we've seen things like that, but like, what if they did Cho'Gath? Like
What
that
about
would be
Temu?
so cool.
Or-
Timu, okay.
Timo?
Isn't that where people buy the cheap
Timu's
stuff?
the app, yeah. Timu's where I bought that Metal Gear Solid Rex. Like,
You know you're
knockoff
stealing
Lego.
from someone. Someone is being
yeah.
ripped off. But
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I mean, they have so many characters there. It'll be cool to see.
Yeah, I'm
what
sure
they
they're gonna
put
add
in,
that
you
stuff
know?
over time too.
And it's interesting you say you really think it's going to stick 2v2
I
because
think
I had
so.
the Andy thought of like, well, surely they're just going to go 1v1 and you'll just tag in your AI
Marvel,
whenever you
yeah,
want
NBC
to take
style,
over.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I would love to see it like, hey, we're doing 2v2 would be cool.
I hope 2v2 works because I really enjoyed playing with Mitch and versus two other people. I like the idea that you have to rely on another person and go, all right, I'm going to tag you in here, and communicating and being like, yo, I'm gonna come in with the assists, and then once you do, boom, right there, do that tag.
I think Riot also has the cachet to try to do their own fighting tournament stuff outside of an Evo, outside of a combo
100%,
breaker and all that stuff
yeah.
to say like, hey, we're having everybody come sign up. We're having our singles and our doubles matches.
Yeah, that's
like, sign up your squad, sign up your own solo, entry or whatever, and come play. We're over here. This first one's in San Diego. This next one's in New York or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
they have the money, the budget, and the power to kind of just do their own thing for a little bit, in addition to let's complement Evo and have our own thing up there as well.
Yeah, that's the way I see it, right? I think they try to enforce it a little bit of, hey, you train up 2v2 because we're going to have those like tournaments going on. I think people at home are going to go, all right, like I'm going to play 1v1 if I don't have, or I'm going to play by myself if I don't have a friend to play with, and maybe train up for that. But I think 2v2, I think will be prominent enough in tournaments that it's for the FGC. I think it's going to be worthwhile to want to have a friend to train with and play with.
and that'll be the wrinkle, right? That'll
Yeah.
be what really sets it apart.
I
the
think
fact
so.
That there needs to be that teamwork.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. It sounds cool.
awesome.
I bet there has to be the solo option, but like that sounds awesome.
If Mitchell Saltzman pulls a muscle, can I come off the bench?
I got you. Yeah.
Tears
I
an
like
ACL or something?
That's nice of you.
Yeah, I mean, I could have multiple partners. You know, we can
He's
get
down
we
like
can get a
that.
polycule situation going.
Okay, I like
He's
that.
open like that.
I like that.
A final one before we move on from this game.
You say the word, I'll go Jeff
Do you
Galooly
know
on him.
release date yet on this? Do we have a vibe of when this is aiming for?
There's an alpha lab happening soon. The alpha
Okay.
the alpha lab is basically like, it's an alpha, right? People are jumping
Okay.
in early.
So we could all jump into that.
you would have
request
to
the code?
you would have
What's
to
going on with that?
Yeah, you have to register.
We know people. Come on. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
I'm sure
so
you guys
cool.
can
Yeah,
get
you're
in.
so
Come
cool.
on. I got a Riot gun buddy. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
That's part of why the line was so long at Evo. Is like one of the lines was to sign up on an iPad just to like get guaranteed access to 2XKO when the alpha lab started. And so like I was waiting in line to do that, even though I'm sure I can hit up a PR contact. But I wanted to make sure. I was like, listen, I don't want to miss this, so I lined up for it. But as far as full release, I'm expecting 2025.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be my guess.
Well, let's jump into the super chats. Dean writes in with the $5 super chat and says, I think they will let them compete as a team or solo, but I have to imagine solo will be the most optimal so you can perfectly time your assists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see
that.
I can see that being the case. But yeah, I think honestly, I do think you want to push the 2v2 as much.
I was
going to
say, of course, solo exists. Of course, I think most people will be drawn that way. But I think that in terms of a big stage,
It's a new
something
dynamic.
different and cool.
Yeah.
like having like tag team wrestling up there. If it really is the fact that they
Yeah.
call and do the thing. well,
Seeing
that's
it on
awesome.
Evo with 4 people up on stage would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
It
See
would
the
be
Call
one
of
of the
Duty.
coolest.
See the Call of Duty Valorant sort of dynamic where both players for one team, once they get it, they stand up like, "Yeah, fuck yourself," they talk shit to the other
Freaking
squad.
crazy. I love
It's exciting.
that. Blessing, you got me excited, and I know you have more games from the show floor at Evo and beyond that you want to talk about, and that's what we're going to do right after a word from our sponsors. We're going to catch up on what you've been playing, so get your super chats in. Let me know what you've been playing and what's the hot game of the summer. But until then, let's take a word.
New merch alert! We brought back the Portillo hat and t-shirt in new colors, as well as a stylish crew neck. I also wrote a children's book about Portillo, and you loved it so much that we sold out in just 3 hours. Wow, thank you! But fear not, we're doing another limited run. So if you want one, head over to kindafunny.com/store, click the books page, and hit notify me when available to make sure you know when it goes live. And while you're there, grab a few shirts for your friends.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's jump into what you've been playing. It's nice to always catch up and see what everybody's been playing. I have found the game of the summer, the hot game of the summer. And it's not even releasing this summer.
my Evo roundup, by the way.
It's just a hot. Well, we're going to get back to it.
We'll get back to it.
Well, I know you got a lot, and I want to make sure I get these guys off the bench to talk as well.
Just want us to keep monologuing. You know what I mean?
Well, I just want to buster. I only have like 5 seconds of content to talk about these things. I'm not trying to linger on these.
Well, you're going to get involved because we also have other games to talk about. But, I'm going to tease my game out. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But, Andy, you got a game up at the top of your list that I do want to talk about because we got to stream it together. And I need to know, what's the deal, Andy? Is it actually good?
Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess. I mean, this is a game that we all were confused about. What the hell is this? Blessing became the expert on it.
I didn't want to become the expert.
I did a 20-minute preview.
He visited the team. He consulted on
some
it.
mocap.
A guy who did not speak English came up to me and was like, do this. Pointing at the screen, and I finally learned what the game was.
Kunitsu-Gami is a really sick, solid game that I'm enjoying quite a bit. It's nothing that I would say, hey, must buy. This is something you need to run out to your local Target and go pick up. Probably not even available there.
You predicted this was going to be a Steam Deck game.
It is the perfect Steam Deck game. Been playing a lot of Steam Deck, played a decent amount on stream with Mike yesterday. It is a pretty basic game. Once you start unlocking everything, then that's where the real player agency sort of sets in. The whole deal of it is there's different levels and different bosses you take on, and you have to lead a goddess across a path. Kunitsu-Gami style. I was trying to put the whole game.
Goddess,
You have to set her down a path, and monsters will come out at night. And when they come out at night, she can no longer walk along that path. And then it becomes very tower defense style game. You have a bunch of different villagers that you are freeing from the Seath of the bad guys. I'm blanking on it. Me and Tim have been doing this thing where there's always a scourge. There's always
a plague.
Oh, it's called the Defilement, is what it's called.
Yeah,
so a lot of these villagers are trapped in these little towns, and they are under this sort of defilement, gunk on them. You got to free them, and then they're like, "I want to fight for you, homie." So you can, when you start off, you can just make these dudes be a little melee guy. You boost them up, you give them an axe, and they can hack away at bad guys for you. And you place them in certain areas that are going to strategically be smarter for you to protect this goddess who's kind of walking along this path. The more you play, now suddenly you can turn these villagers into archers. You could turn some of them into an ascetic character, which is more of a magic type character that they could slow enemies down. And once you start upgrading those characters, then you go back to your little bases and you start fixing up and repairing this little village. And you could set these dudes to fix that thing, and then you get more XP to then take that to the little upgrade your little warriors, upgrade your archers. It just has a really nice flow to it. It is pretty turn your brain off, but I love the art style of it.
It's really pretty.
I love
every
the art
time you look
direction
at
of
it.
it.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, the art direction and the art style is pretty fantastic. The mocap is really, really great. But yeah, the character designs and the enemy boss designs are just really freaky looking, very yokai style. In terms of them going for kind of a horror freaky vibe with these monsters that come out of the gate. And then one kind of neat wrinkle that I experienced was I finished a run, my very, very first run. The night was over, killed all the enemies, and they were like, hey, great job. You can now walk around. You can lead the goddess to the end of the path.
Oh, great.
But you can also go do other things in this world that'll get you, little consumables that'll help you upgrade your whole play style or whatever. But I didn't do that in time, and then night set in again, and I had to fight again. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know that I had to kind of continue the work. I thought I was just done. So that added a neat wrinkle in how you strategize. You don't want to push the goddess too far along the path, because then you might have her in a situation where there's so many different entry points of enemies to get to her at. You want to like make sure you are putting her in the right position and putting your own little villagers that you are then turning into warriors in the right position too.
Okay.
It's just got a cool strategy to it, but you are also real-time combating it. While your dudes are while you're setting your dudes in the right spots, you are also like a little third-person action guy. You have a dodge, you have a block,
Why
you
has it
have
gotta
a
be
heal.
so small?
You have combos that can then take out enemies, and then you can upgrade your ultimate ability to, I have an ultimate ability right now that I put a whole sort of AoE circle around me, and it makes my villagers attack stronger and faster for a certain amount of time. Whoever gets caught in that circle, now my villagers are stronger. But that doesn't work great against this boss. And this boss, my ultimate that I decided to choose was you do this big slash and it stuns the enemy. So there's a lot of like just cool strategy that goes into it. I don't think it's anything amazing, but I am super surprised by it, and I'm super into the idea of like, oh, let me just go complete another run. So far I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. I think it's a really good experience. And as I start unlocking more, I kind of see it getting higher and higher in ranking, because that just adds more to how can I really make this playstyle my own. I'm having a good time with it. I'm really surprised by it. Probably my surprise of the year.
So is this like, with it being the Steam Deck game, is this you're done streaming, you're kicked back in bed, you want to play for 30 minutes, an hour or whatever?
Yeah, 30 minutes to an hour. And the way it works is when you go back to your little home bases to repair all the little things in order to get more currencies to level up your dudes. When you go back to the... Just
your little
so
melee
tiny. They're
dudes.
so tiny little men.
Possibly small.
You go back to your... you set them to do certain jobs, but it'll say, hey, it's going to take one run for them to complete this job. So you have all your villagers working on different projects, and well, they're not going to do these projects until I go do another run. Let me go progress the story, complete a run, go back to that village. Hey, all the work's done. Collect all your rewards. Continue to level up your squad, level up your own dude. It's just got a really cool hook to it, and part of it almost feels like it could have been a very mobile gamey microtransaction type game. I'm super glad they didn't go with that. I think it's a really, really solid product if you're looking for sort of this strategy game with some real-time combat in it.
Hell yeah.
I like that. Exile Online super chats in and says Kunitsu-Gami, sleeper hit of the year. Andy knows.
I'm having a great time with it. Yeah, I 7 out of 10 so far, and I did see Michael Huber tweet about it as well, being like, this game kind of rocks. I'm super into it. So I'm excited to kind of see how it continues to unravel, because the boss I just fought was unlike any of the other bosses I fought, and it required a completely different strategy that I'd never done. And it was kind of difficult, and I really enjoy the challenge of finding out what's the right thing to have my villagers doing, or my civilian warriors doing, and what's the right thing that I need to be doing in order to, be set up for success.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of energy in the live streams over on YouTube and on Twitch. But of course, if you're listening and you're interested, a cool one for you is this is available on Game Pass as well. So you can jump in and give it a try. Just something to keep in the back pocket for you. It's interesting. Me and Andy played this together on stream, and I hated the look of it. I did not
really
find it, what I was.
The colors didn't do it for you?
No, it just didn't do it. But
It
I
looks
will
very
say
messy,
this.
I feel like.
Yeah, it just didn't feel right. It just didn't look right. But the catch is like, I love a good tower defense game, and I like this blend of real-time strategy, as Andy brought up, of like a real-time combat of you put down where you want your towers to go, even though they're not, just stationary towers. They are moving units, essentially.
Yeah, you're protecting your lady, and I love the idea of, all right, I have 5 villages to work with. Right now, I know there's going to be some flying enemies, and only the archers can take out those. So let me put an archer here who has a gigantic area of effect where you see where enemies, when they enter that big old circle sort of area, my archer will sort of shoot at that dude. I'll put an archer here, I'll put an archer here, and then I'll put 2 warriors right in front of her. Well, now shit, I moved her up too far back, too far up the path. Now this path is super wide open to her. I should put another warrior there. It's got a really cool flow to it.
Yeah, and
I enjoy the vibe of it.
Being able to draw everyone to attack as well and like get off of their marks is very interesting. Of course, you think tower defense in my world is like, oh, I place a tower and then I build out a maze and the units kind of walk through that maze. This is not like that at all, right? It is like Andy put down 3 warriors, and if he wanted to move them and have them all go attack one unit, they can do that at just a button press, which was very interesting. And so
And I can heal my
gameplay got
dudes
me
too as well.
interesting. Yeah, the gameplay got me, but I didn't vibe with the look at all.
Okay.
So
Great,
it was interesting.
Great tweet here from Chris from Aftermath site and also YouTube highlight reel. He tweets out, Kunitsu-Gami is so fun. Pikmin-ass game. Overlord-ass game. Game permanently trapped on PS3 that you can only play with an experimental emulator-ass game. And Kunitsu-Gami quote tweeted that and put, thanks, I think.
Yes.
And it's like, it's so true. This really feels, I was talking to Tim about this on Games Daily. Capcom right now, with all of the big hits they're putting out, with these gigantic, like, beautiful Resident Evil, huge budget games, Monster Hunter Worlds coming out, or Monster Hunter Wilds.
Dead fucking Rising. Don't put some name.
Oh,
in.
put some respect on
and then putting out a kind of weird little game like this, it reminds me of Sony doing the little weird stuff
PS3.
with Japan Studio. Yeah, like
the PlayStation 3, where they were trying to put all the exclusives and then had a bunch of weird ass PSN games like Last Guy. You're like, okay.
it's like something for everybody right now. And I think this is like that perfect small title that doesn't need to, blow out sales or anything like that. But it's a really solid experience. And I recommend everybody try it if you're into anything that I've just mentioned.
I like that. Over here on the super chats, SD Turtle writes in, says, I've been playing Fire Emblem 3 Houses, been going through the series, never been into strategy games, but the series has been great. Have y'all played it?
No, but I know that there's so much like cool romance stuff
Yeah.
and relationship stuff and like building of families, and it super interests me there. But if it was like, this is the type of strategy I want now. Kunitsu-Gami, like if I could, if it wasn't just like that sort of hex, the way Fire Emblem is usually played, placing your characters in certain spots. But if I could also real time run around, do stuff at the same time, I would be so much more into it. I just don't know if I'd vibe with it. I don't know.
Maybe you'd like Minecraft Legends.
Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the real. Dungeons is the hack and
Diablo
slash
one.
one,
Yeah,
top
you're
down,
right.
and Legends is the real-time strategy game. But you're a hero unit running around controlling your units, like similar to what you're doing right now.
Oh, okay.
but not
gotcha.
as fun. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I had you for a second. Lost you.
Not as fun.
Let you off, I guess. Actually.
Let's keep going because Blessing, you had a couple that you just wanted a quick hit through from Evo, and I do want to hear about this Hunter x Hunter game. I'm interested in that.
It's not good.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all I have
that's
to say.
damn.
But it's the actual anime, like it's the anime
Yeah.
show in the video game, right?
I mean, it's a fighting game. It's
Okay.
a 3v3 fighting game. Think like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Like My Hero, where they're in like the dome and you're running around type
it's
stuff.
2D.
Okay,
it's
okay.
what you want. Honestly, it's what the fighting game community who likes a Hunter x Hunter like anime.
Yeah.
It's the type of game you want, just with a way lower polish. And honestly, like if you're down to play a subpar, like fine fighting game that like, you're not gonna, I don't think they're gonna have this at Evo. I don't think this is gonna get its own tournament, but it could be something that you play with friends and have fun with for maybe a night, maybe a week, depending on like, how much you get into it.
There'll be a
think-
tournament at somebody's like hotel room where like, hey, come play on
come through. Yeah, I think honestly it could be worthwhile for that. Like, it reminds me of when I played Dragon Ball Z Budokai back in the day, which was like also another. It was 2D, 3D, fighting game. It had a 3D plane. But like that wasn't the best fighting game by any means. But you love Dragon Ball, and so you play it for the fan service, and you play it to make these characters fight like action figures. I think this could be good for that, right? If you're coming into this as somebody who may like Marvel's Capcom, or if you like King of Fighters or Fatal Fury or something like that, right? Jump into this. You're playing as the characters that you're playing as Gon, you're playing as Killua, and you're playing as the weird clown guy, and you're fighting each other. Never forget the weird clown guy who is really weird. But you're playing as the characters that you like in the world that you like. I think it could be worthwhile for that. But I played this right after playing 2XKO, and it was so like the difference was so glaring. I was like,
such a jarring experience.
It was so jarring. But I do
from this gameplay, it seems like they're trying to go for Dragon Ball Fighter Z, but just the style and polish, like you were saying, is just like not there.
it's nowhere on the same level. But again, fans of the genre, fans of the anime, you might find something here for maybe a week or maybe a little bit of time. But then I also had a preview, like the appointment I made for Marvel vs. Capcom Collection, which is the modern port that they're making for a bunch of Marvel games, or a bunch of Capcom and Marvel crossover games, right? Including the Punisher classic games and the MVC games and X-Men vs. Street Fighter and all these things. In the demo that I played, they only had 3 games available. They were Marvel vs. Capcom 2. They were X-Men, Children of the Atom, and X-Men vs. Street Fighter.
Okay.
Historically, honestly, I've not been a big Marvel vs. Capcom person. Like, the movement of the gameplay has never appealed to me that much, and I always struggled to get good at those games. For whatever reason, this time around, I don't know what it was, but I was like, yo, this game kind of fucks. I think part of it,
It's because you're a seasoned fighting game player now.
yeah, I think part of it is just being in the energy of Evo, and people, of course, like, you're at Evo, so many people are into like games like Marvel vs. Capcom, right? And so there's just an inherent hype there. But then also, I played a bit of X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and I was pleasantly surprised by how much I like this game for a game that I don't hear people talk as much about compared to a Marvel vs. Capcom. X-Men vs. Street Fighter almost feels way more like grounded and way more almost like Street Fighter adjacent than Marvel vs. Capcom, which Marvel vs. Capcom feels almost more party game like in how many characters there are in it, how crazy it can get on screen. X-Men vs. Street Fighter, from the get-go, I was like, oh, I get what's going on here. I can read exactly like the flow of the match. I already know how to control all these characters. Like, there's a movement to it that feels, I don't know, that just feels fluid and classic. And so yeah, I really like playing X-Men vs. Street Fighter, but then yeah, jumping into Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Obviously, it's that same game, but it's hitting. It's modern. They have options for like practice mode and like, you know, some unique features in there as well. And then yeah, X-Men Children of the Atom it's a video game.
So as someone who doesn't know anything about this is one big package that I'm purchasing here.
One big
with all
package.
these games.
Yep.
Online functionality.
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, will I be able to pick whatever game and be able to team up with Andy over there and play against him?
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds about right. I'm going to open up the email
Sounds
as I
cool.
talk,
I
because
like
I
that.
think they have some new features detail in there too. But
I feel like if that wasn't the case, we would have heard a big outcry already.
Okay. I'm
That-
like, yo,
that-
we
that
want to be able
sounds
to play
insane.
these games
everybody was
against
already too busy talking about how it's not coming to Xbox and how they're upset about
Everybody's
that.
already
Yeah,
like,
it's
man,
got
Biden
online
stepped
play.
down.
It's got
What the
online
fuck?"
play, yeah.
Yeah.
people. Okay.
All kinds of new features have been added, including online play.
That's cool. That's great. Looks awesome.
I'm so excited to kind of see this get revived in a way and see the community get around it. Like the MVC 3 and MVC 2 and like Street Fighter 4, that's where I first started watching Evo. And that's my friends were just so good at the game, and watching them go play at local tournaments and stuff. And that's what really got me into watching fighting games. And I'm just so excited to kind of see the community get around it once again.
How gorgeous is this art?
It's just the best.
It's
the
incredible.
best
You
pixel
You
art.
look back at pixel art from 16-bit era, you're like, holy shit,
It's
did
the
this stuff fuck.
best pixel art.
But yeah, they've added in, they added in a trading mode. They have a quick save option. One button special moves also is the new
Humanity
thing.
peaked here.
Where similar to what I was talking about earlier with 2XKO, where you don't have to do like all the circle inputs. Like you have a button that they've assigned as like the special button that you can use to actually pull that stuff off if you're not as advanced of a player.
That's me. I like that. Alec Bobco super chats in and says, finally got back to Horizon Forbidden West. Loved the story, gameplay, and soundtrack. Excited to play through Burning Shores soon, too.
Hell yeah, you are.
Heck
Never
yeah.
forget.
Robo Dinosaurs.
Speaking of PlayStation, did check out Astro Bot a little bit
Ooh.
on the show floor.
Hell yeah.
It was a weird one because, of course, Evo's owned by PlayStation.
Yes, of
There's
course.
plenty of different booths. It's like a convention floor if you've been to a PAX or anything else like that.
And there are tons of Astrobot ads during Evo itself.
oh, were there? I
yeah.
didn't even notice that.
Yeah, every commercial break it was either
Chipotle.
it was either showing off Chipotle or they showed the Astrobot ad a lot.
Oh yeah,
God
yeah.
bless 'em.
It's funny because like the Chipotle ad, every single time they showed it in the arena, people would cheer. Like, it just became a thing. Everybody was loving Chipotle.
I never got to win. I never won a burrito or a bowl. Unfortunate.
Lame.
He was trying.
You type in the goal or type in the code.
So what's funny is that, you know, day one, you know, I walked by the PlayStation booth and it looked like it was just a bunch of old games. I'm pretty sure, and if somebody else was at Evo, confirm this for me. They had it mislabeled, I'm pretty sure, in day one, where I'm pretty sure it said Astro's Playroom.
Oh, really?
So I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's just the old Astro Bot
ass
game.
game.
Or people just didn't realize that it was it was new Astro, because like somebody came up to me, I think it was Butcher Saltzman, and was like, "Dude, they got Astro Bot here," and I was like, "Do they?" And they're like, "Yeah, PlayStation booth," and I was like, oh, I thought it was just a bunch of old games because they also had Gran Turismo and just a bunch of random ass games. But yeah,
it's just a guy with his like portal. Like, you want to play Astro Bot? Like,
Laggy as shit.
we were
artifact.
supposed to bring a setup, but you
Yeah,
could just
man,
play
you know,
mine.
we're just, I'm streaming back to my
I got
house.
remote play on my cell phone. If my girlfriend texts me, don't
Yeah,
answer.
I put it on a hotspot.
so you have like, you know, all these thousands of people there, and I go over and there's not a line for Astro Bot. Like
Nice.
when I went, there were people playing on the station, and like you knew it was a thing because I was like, I went up to one of the people working, and I was like, hey, is there like a line for Astro Bot? And they're like, oh, like
I blew dust off the controller.
yeah.
Comment in the chat from Tyler's new group says, Tyler from Evo here can confirm. It said Astro's Playroom on day 1.
Yeah, so it was just nobody was playing it. I go day 2, and yeah, like I'm like, oh yeah, I can start forming a line. And they're like, yeah, I guess start making a line. It's like, oh, there was
stand here and just hope it catches on.
They did not have a line protocol for Astro Bot being here, and so I waited for literally 2 seconds, and then somebody got off the station. Then I started playing, and immediately it was magic. Immediately, it's like, oh, y'all know what you're doing. There's a charm here. There's a flow here. It feels like I'm playing a Nintendo.
Movement feels great.
Movement feels great. The world feels charming. As soon as I got my hands on the controller, I'm in like the hub thing, right? Which is your Astro Bot on like the DualSense jet thing that he rides around. And I went to a level, and the first level I jumped into was, I think, just like a short. I assume they have like these short levels. I forget, I don't know what they call them, but like these more, I guess, speedrunny type things where it is challenge levels, I guess. Very linear, very short. But the gimmick for that level was you would take this like item and throw it, and it would freeze all of the platforms. So you would have like these platforms going that are like, you know, like a fan that's going or whatever, and you would throw the thing, and it would freeze that fan for a moment, and then you had to like, you know, jump across the thing, and it all felt great. Looked great visually. I went from that to playing one of the bigger levels, one of the actual like fully fledged levels, and yeah, like it is everything I would want out of an Astro Bot platforming game, which is like, you know, fun moment to moment, like bits, fun, like, you know, I'm running through, and there's like one of those what are like those cardboard things that like they'll have like the head, like the hole for like where you put your head to where you can take pictures in it.
Standees.
Standees. Yeah, they'll have like, there was like a standee that I ran into, did that real quick, and Astro Bot like started making like fun facial expressions or whatever. I'm like, there's so much charm to this thing.
Photo mode, a little action right there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't check to see if there's a photo mode, but yeah, that would be definitely a photo mode moment right there if I took it.
With the power of the DualSense controller, everything's a photo mode thanks to the capture and share button.
Oh, but I'm, you know.
Double tap for a video, hold it. You know, it's for a photo.
I never do
You
it
have to
right.
go in.
I never do it right.
Every time.
I always fuck it up.
All right, you don't even have to talk. You're an idiot.
It's
I don't even need to hear you.
No, but hold on. No, no, no.
Andy,
Tell
I'll
him, Andy.
I'll accept
Tell him,
criticism
Andy.
from Andy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I'll accept Andy being an idiot. I won't accept. Because here's the thing. Mike, I take a lot of photos in Final Fantasy Rebirth.
Thank you. You and I both.
And when I do it, you have to go into photo mode first, because I don't want the UI everywhere.
Sure, fair.
You have to go into photo mode first, or you have to take away the UI with that one button and then hit us. And everybody's like, Andy, you could just do this. I'm like, no, but I don't want the UI to pop up. I don't want the sub, you know.
Yeah.
Let me be me, you know.
So I don't know, the photo mode in Final Fantasy
I don't know what I'm
confuses you?
complaining about, Greg. I'm just going with the show.
Hide the UI button inside of Final
I
Fantasy.
was just going. I was just siding with Mike, you know.
But yeah, there was so much demo in that Astro Bot demo, right? There was so much more I could have done. But after that level, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to play any
Don't
more of
ruin the
this.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
very much-
gonna save this for when the game's actually out.
I'm very excited for Astro Bot to come and have it be that. All right, cool. Ben's asleep. I'm downstairs. Lights off. Let's go.
Clip that out.
Jump right in.
Everyone's excited. Greg, there's
So
also
excited for
given
Astro
that
Bot to come. Like, I just need that cut out right there.
we're all excited about Marvel Rivals, and you played a little bit before the stream, or before today's podcast. I want to know what your thoughts are.
It's not for me. You know, I'm not the Overwatch guy. That had been the, you know, the whole thing about it when they were announcing a new Marvel game. That's exciting. And then we saw it. I was like, oh, okay. I'm glad it's there. I'm glad people are connecting with it. But yeah, for me, I did one match as Iron Man, and it was protect the fucking payload thing. And I'm like, no, that ain't what I want. But the problem, Mike,
Yep, lay it
is
on me.
that this comes along in a time when I'm so fucking depressed. Okay?
no.
I am currently grinding it out in Diablo 4. The platinum, very much on the doorstep.
Here it comes.
All right, I'm level 77, I think, on my seasonal character. I need to get to 100. Pop that. That'll also pop the healing trophy along the way. Great. Then I get some PvP kills that'll cheese. Great. I got to get this character, my hardcore character to 50, which I'm hoping to do on stream today with Xanth. What up, Xanth? We're doing the afternoon stream, the late one, 3
Shout
p.m.
out.
And then it'll be Uber Lilith. all of this very manageable, attainable. It's just time sink. But I'm going home and I'm just pouring hour after hour into Diablo as I go out there and do Hell Tides and level up and yada, yada, yada. And I went and saw a little film, a little motion picture called Deadpool and Wolverine. No spoilers. Everybody calm down.
Nobody say anything.
Nobody say anything. And when the credits were finally done and we were walking to the car, talking about the movie, I climb behind the wheel, I start driving home, Andy, and all I can think about is how good would it be right now to get home and turn on Marvel Heroes Omega. Or if you're a PC player, it's Marvel Heroes. You know what I mean? Get in there and have it have the new Wolverine movie costume, the new Deadpool movie costume, dust off all these other characters that are there and go out there. Because, of course, Marvel
Mike
Heroes
disagrees,
Omega,
Greg. I mean, Mike was...
Keep going, Greg. Keep going.
Marvel Heroes Omega, of course, is a Diablo clone.
It's a Diablo clone.
If you don't recall.
I do
right?
remember, yeah.
And not an especially great one, if that's what you were about.
No.
About.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, it did what it needed to do. Here's an old Let's Play back in the spare bedroom.
This is the first one I edited.
Really?
This is before party mode existed, yeah.
Oh, wow, great. Anthony Gaius there. Of course, he was old IGN guy and then made it. This is when it came to PlayStation 4. You can see it rough around the edges and whatever, but like, it had the juice. It had the stuff of just a game to go sink and be in that universe. And so now I'm finding myself turning on Diablo to grind, and I'm like, I love Diablo, obviously. I'm very excited for the DLCs and stuff. But I'm like, God, I wish I was playing Marvel Heroes Omega as a new hero, a new class, a new whatever, getting out there and doing that, you know? But I can't. So then I was like, okay, I'll try this Marvel Rivals. Maybe there's a chance. I know, I'd never been an MMO guy. Maybe DC Universe changed that. Maybe this could change that. I jumped in. I'm very much like, this ain't it. Quality game. I'm not insulting the game. Just not what I want to do. So then I was like, as stupid as I am, I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll read down Marvel Future Revolution. You remember this one?
No.
This is the one on a show you had to talk me out of spending $50 on a Captain America skin.
Jesus Christ.
It was an old phone game or whatever. ARPG. Everybody crosses over, customize your own hero, do the thing. I completely forgot that it got shut down in August 2023 because it was bad and nobody liked it. I was like, fuck. I was hoping it improved a bit. So then it's like, what the fuck? Where is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4? Where is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4?
Where's Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on other consoles than the Switch?
Let's get Marvel
Let's
Ultimate
start
Alliance
with that.
3 off. I'd be happy to restart on the PlayStation.
Any
get some
day of the
trophies
week.
And do
Yeah,
stuff.
But
You know
that
what
would
I mean?
prevent us from going out to another bar and just playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
We only
3
did that
together.
once, and it was so nice.
It was so good.
Why don't we do that? Why didn't we do that more?
I don't know,
Should've
because
done it more.
we're not near that bar anymore. You know.
That's true.
I love that.
We got the kegerator.
I love that Greg is very much, as an adult, like child Andy was. When I watched the Mission Impossible movie, Bless, I'd get on my dad's fucking like he had that, like a brother typewriter. I'd pretend I was hacking the world. Like you'd watch a movie, it's like I just want to be in that world now. I watched Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie. I was like, all right, let me put on a
You got the paper
turtleneck.
towel roll, and you're acting like it's a torch.
I
moving
put on a
around.
turtleneck during the summer and pretended I was like hiking in the mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
I love that.
Ultimate Alliance 3 was fun. Don't get me
So
wrong.
good.
But I put so much time into it. I did the fucking grind an entire flight to, I think, New York, where I was trying to get everybody to level 100. So I was just Kamala Khan spinning left and right, getting everybody XP and shit, being a psychopath on it.
What's funny is that I had the same thing where I watched X-Men, the new X-Men series 97. Thank you. I was gonna say X-Men Legends. I was like, that's a video game. Watched X-Men 97 and was like, damn, I want more X-Men stuff. Like I need to interact with an X-Men thing. Downloaded Midnight Suns on my Steam Deck. Yeah.
see,
Oh, wow.
Like the first hour.
That's the going back through it. Like then, of course, where's Ultimate Alliance 3? Phil Spencer owns Activision now. Fucking figure it out. Get Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 on Game Pass. You know what I mean? I put a tweet out today about that. I have a call to action out there. I'm sure Phil will respond and get it out there. I'm sure he'll get over all the licensing
He'll get on
problems
that.
that are there happening. You know what I mean? Also just begging Marvel Games to make another Ultimate Alliance. But that's kind of where I'm at. Where I saw somebody pop in the chat over here and go, Greg, just play Marvel Snap. And I'm like, I've played a lot of Marvel Snap, and that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Midnight Suns, if you remember when I reviewed it, I was like, But I'm very much looking for a man.
You want to be a little guy doing little
I just
things.
want to be a superhero running around doing superhero things.
Yeah.
Maybe it is time. Again, I'm going on this thing. I got it. It wasn't Steam Deck verified when I reviewed it. In fact, they yelled at me for playing it on a Steam Deck. Now it is verified from what I remember. So I have that there, but I'd want to start over. But if I'm on the road, I'm thinking maybe I'm doing the Canada trip again. I'm thinking about bringing the Xbox S and the X screen again
Heck yeah,
for the
shout out
flight
to the
for
X
there.
screen.
So maybe just get an Xbox, have it there.
Man, that X screen is great.
But I'm heartbroken right now.
Well, me and Mike aren't heartbroken because we are enjoying the game of the summer with Blessing
It's
and
Game of the
Roger.
Summer.
Game of the summer is Marvel
Greg,
Rivals.
it's Game of the Summer, and it's not even out until 2025, but it's 100%
shit, is
Game
that
of the
so?
Summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
you got
announced
one.
Why
this
did I
game
ask
isn't coming
ask
until
it like that?
2025.
Because you're angry. You didn't know what was happening.
Is that so?
Yeah. But like we've talked about it before, but now that the
Go for it.
closed beta is back again, the hype has been, relit here.
I've never fully talked about Marvel Rivals because I only got to play one match and didn't have anything to say about it, so I declined speaking about it. But now that it's out, it is so much more competent than I expected. It's got a lot of balancing issues like most games do at launch, and most games still do 5 years in, like Overwatch and other hero shooters like that. But I am just kind of wildly impressed with the presentation, with the look of it, with the feel of it. It is, for those of you all don't know, Marvel Rivals is Marvel superhero Overwatch. It's 6v6. There's a tank role, DPS role, support role. There's no role locking yet, which role lock is like once Overwatch was like, all right, we need to get more serious about this. It's like you need 2 tanks, 2 damage, 2 support. You can pick 6 damage here. You could pick all support here or whatever. Well, there's not actually that many heroes to do that. But yeah, there's no like rules on it yet. But it's Overwatch. You're pushing a payload or you're controlling a zone. And the way the control of the zone works is it's like if you lose that zone, if the other team gets to 100%, then you move on to round 2. If they win that one, then you're done because they won 2 out of 3. And the payload mode operates very much like any other payload mode you've ever played in an Overwatch game or TF2 or anything like that. But the variety with the heroes, I love that it's almost exactly like Overwatch because I have those analogs in mind when I go, oh, Star-Lord is Tracer, but he can fly. Perfect. Love that. And he has Reaper's Death Blossom ability as well. Awesome.
It's not as strong. I need them to buff it because like I'd be using that. I'm getting clipped every single time.
Yeah. Scarlet Witch, the most OP character probably in the game right now. Her and Magic. If you know Magic, Greg, she was played by Anya Taylor-Joy
of course.
You remember her? Yeah.
Mutants.
Magic with a K at the end.
With
Even
a K,
cooler.
yeah.
Even cooler.
You also got Luna Snow.
Luna Snow. Luna Snow is like a K-pop character.
Just Lucio.
She does like it's a power of music essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, the character art, I'll never forget when Greg said, "Everybody, come huddle around my desk." I just got sent like this brand new NDA trailer for this new Marvel game, and all of us, ooh, what's this going to be? And we see the NetEase logo, and we all kind of collectively like, it's going to be some mobile or MOBA game that maybe doesn't interest all of us, whatever. And then immediately we see gameplay and we see the production and the presentation, and it's off the fucking charts. Like the amount of love put into the art in this game shows me that they really give a shit about this product and they want it to really last. And if there's a game out there right now that you're wondering, what's going to be the next game that may kind of join the Apexes, the Warzones, the Fortnites, the Overwatches, I feel like this one may have the best chance to do so.
Yes.
It's so much fun, Mike. When we talk about heroes, who have you been enjoying in Marvel Rivals, Mike?
Namor. I love Namor. I think that's a really fun one. You got to be a little more precise because you are throwing the spear, but I really like the AoE ultimate that he throws down where a whale jumps up and splash damages a bunch of the area. I love that. I love
He plays like Torbjorn. For those of y'all who know Overwatch, he plays like Torbjorn. You put down these little tentacle monsters, which are basically like Torbjorn's turret that he kind of like sets down.
That's good. That's a good point right there.
And one cool thing that I noticed when I was playing with Namor is they do this.
Is it not Namor? And the movie called it.
The movie said Namor,
okay.
But so that's what
I'm not again.
And the guy in the game,
give me Aquaman.
The guy in the game is like Latino as well, like just based on like the accent and stuff. So I'm gonna go with Namor. El Niño Sin Amor.
Make it sound nice.
One cool thing that they're doing with this game is like you can select when you're selecting your heroes, you have these sort of fusion team up powers, right? So, Loki and Hela have a sort of team up power, which grants like extra damage or whatever the hell. Like, so if 2 people on your team pick those characters, your team's going to benefit even more from that. With Namor and Luna Snow, we had a Luna Snow in our squad. I was Namor, and suddenly I had an extra turret that also did freeze damage. Oh. So Namor's turret thing it's just a little octopus, little underwater guy. He just sort of spits out damage or whatever. But yeah, suddenly I had an extra thing that was doing frost damage now. And that's because he and Luna Snow, I guess, are dating at one point or are, and they had that little synergy team up thing, which is like, oh shit, that's really, really neat. And so many of these characters have that. And that's a neat little wrinkle into the normal Overwatch game, which doesn't have it. I think it's a neat little addition to say like, hey, we're not just going to be a 1-for-1 clone. We're going to try to like be different in some ways, but to a certain point, you're going to have to. You got to ask yourself when you're one of these developers, like, how much different can we make a 6v6 sort of like hero shooter?
I like it. I like it though because it is. I think if anybody's going to make a 1-for-1, like we're just making Overwatch. If you're gonna do it with an IP, I feel like Marvel's a very strong IP to compete with that. Like that is a direct head-on. Like, oh, you can actually maybe be successful in this realm. And the stuff that they're adding feel like worthwhile mechanics. Like, yeah, the team up stuff I think is novel. And so far, I'm like, oh snap, yeah, like. I'm about to switch characters, and I am taking into consideration of like, oh, there are other Guardians. Maybe I'll choose Star-Lord. Maybe I'll choose this character to like complement this other person's playstyle.
Yeah, last time when we played with Bruce was Rocket Raccoon, and he has a team up thing.
Nolan North, by the way, voicing him again.
Yeah, and he has a team up thing with Punisher, and I was Punisher, who's very much like a Soldier 76. He's just a big dude with an AR, and then you could switch to a shotty. But Bruce is like, Andy, I'm going to put down that thing that gives you unlimited ammo, and you shoot a lot faster, too. So it's a little, like, thing that kind of helps out your squad, but when you're teamed up with a Punisher, if you're Rocket Raccoon, that little team-up synergy thing just then allows me to just, like, shoot at what feels like double the fire rate, unlimited until it runs out for that time. Really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. Like playing it last night with you guys, I think it was a good. Like I played it when they had the original beta or alpha or whatever it was. This last time was fun because it was us in a. I think we had a 6-stack or a 5-stack, but it was us in a team locked in playing for an extended period of time, and I started to get a feel of like, okay, I can see where the synergy is coming in. I can see where the communication teamwork's coming in. Like it felt like it felt. I felt those moments of being like, grouped up and being like, oh, we're focusing on this person. All right, this person's over here. Oh, Iron Man's over here. Like, let's try to take them out. And the flow of it felt nice. And also that I was trying out a lot of different characters, and all the different characters did feel unique. And I like Star-Lord. I locked in on because I was like, yo, this dude, he has he plays like Tracer, but his circle is like a dodge roll type thing, and he can like dodge roll into the air.
There's a little flip kind of.
Yeah, and he's so mobile, and I was like, oh, this is actually really great. Like this is actually a different feel than what I'm used to when I even am playing Overwatch. So I think they're finding those interesting angles to take characters where, all right, Star-Lord is Tracer, but like he has this, and this that actually makes him worthwhile in a different way.
They're always like a combination of a bunch of different Overwatch characters. Yeah,
I'm still looking for like my Overwatch mains were Reaper and Hanzo. I'm still looking for those analogs. I've not found it yet. Once I do, it's over for you bitches.
I think my main is Hella. Hella is like a Zenyatta with mobility because Hella, her standard fire is kind of like you have to lead it, right? But it's going to do a lot of damage if you can do headshot damage. It's just like a single shot. Mm-hmm. She uses like her sword kind of thing that are in her head or whatever.
Her dagger.
These swords things. And then the right click, if you're playing on PC, shoots a bunch of them, and then it sticks in their body, and then those things will explode after a certain amount of time. But she has a really great mobility thing where if you're in danger, you hit that E button, and you turn into like a little bird, and a little crow kind of raven, she flies away, and you can get out of danger really quickly, or get high ground. I just think that they've chosen a lot of creative ways to make these characters be cool combinations of things that are really familiar.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
The third person has also grown on me a lot. That was one of the things early on where I was like, ooh, I don't know about third person. With the Star-Lord example I was giving of being able to dodge roll and get out of places, like that works because it's third person. And even like using other characters, using Iron Man and like, flying around, like all this stuff after a while of playing, I'm like, oh no, this works. Like I'm actually used to this. This doesn't feel weird.
Mike was grooting it up last night.
Yeah, Andy paid me a lot of money and offered me In-N-Out lunches forever to be tank.
Forever.
So, I'll be
there was a while
now.
Yeah, Mike was like, I just don't really vibe with this whole tank thing. Like, I'm just going to go damage. And I was like, all right, I'll go tank. But also, like, I'm being heavily underutilized on tank. Like, you got to put me on a damage character. So I was like, Mike, you need to figure something out on tank. Like, I need to be damaged. We're not being very productive right now.
Yeah, I think it's really great. And it shows, right? It feels polished. It feels ready for prime time. But there is something missing game mode-wise, right? We can only push the payload and domination so many times. What is that third or fourth game mode that they need, Andy? Because there's something missing here where it's like, if it was primetime ready right now, what are the game modes that they need to add?
Well, they have a basic kind of respawn deathmatch style game, but that's like, I see that more as like just trying to build up your battle pass without wanting to get into a 20-minute, 15-minute match or whatever. But like, I disagree there because as a fan of Overwatch, like all I care about is pushing the payload and the King of the Hill type stuff.
You don't like the tug of war one? Where they have the middle payload?
Push mode is my least favorite mode, but it replaced my even more least favorite mode, which was 2-point capture, where you have to offense and defense, one team captures 1 point, and if you do that, then you go to the second point to try to get it. That was by far my least favorite mode. I think push became a much better version, a much better alternative, I'd say. And they have a newer mode now, which is kind of like domination, go to all the different points, which I don't really love. I don't think it works for a hero-style shooter like that. Works better for Call of Duty, where you're all just dudes with ARs, because it kind of takes the whole player synchronicity out of things. I love payload. I love singular King of the Hill. Those are like totally my jams. And I feel like having a payload is much more preferred to me than on Concord. As much as I enjoy playing Concord, I really want that game to have a payload mode.
Yeah, that game should have a payload mode.
Yeah, my issue with this right now is I love this and I want more of this. This is one of the few betas we've come out of now, from Concord to Frag Punks to this, where it's like, oh, I want to spend all summer playing this, but I need more game modes because I can only do push the payload and 2-point King of the Hill for so long before I'm like, okay, that was a great 4-hour session. I'm going to cool off on that for quite some time. So I'm looking for something more out of this.
How long is this beta running?
All weekend, I believe.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit longer. You can currently watch us over on Twitch. Andy and Bless will stream it later after Earth Defense Force. You can get a beta code while you're watching.
What?
So through Twitch Rewards, you'll get a code. Hopefully they have more, because last night it seems like they gave away every code on Earth. But hopefully they'll have more for people who's watching.
Last night they hit a kind of critical capacity and like, sorry, we can't give away anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of unfortunate.
People saying it's still August 5th.
10 days. Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So you can play it all. 2 weeks here. I mean, for me, I already want to spend money in it, right? Of like, I want all these costumes, because the cool part about this, you have the Marvel IPs. It's going to be easy to be like, this is free to play.
Dude.
Now we have all of these costumes for all your favorite characters.
Those costumes are going to be so expensive. I can
Storm
smell
it. You think so?
I can smell the prices from here.
You settle in on $7.
It's NetEase and it's Marvel.
Settle in on $7 to $10. That's what you got to do here.
You're going to spend $50 for just a fucking black Spider-Man suit. I can see it now.
Game of the summer, not even out yet. Make sure to keep an eye out on that one. Greg Miller, to round us all out, I have to know, because I put that whooping on you in college football. Have you gotten any better at college football playing your friend Poe?
Yes. That's the big thing. Of course, Poe and me, our friendship, lifelong, founded on football video games, especially college football and NCAA. So with college football finally being upon us, thank God, thank you, EA, thank you, Satan, if you did it. We were excited to get back on the gridiron, and we did, and we got out there. And I really felt that, it's what we've talked about privately. First off, all the flowers to you. You are a better video game football player than I am. You've never stopped, whereas I kind of stopped with NCAA 14, right? With the occasional Madden check-in, but not anything like you.
Just real quick, last night we're trying to play, and I was like, "Yeah, Blessing said he was going to play Marvel Rivals with us tonight," and we're like, "What's he doing?" And Roger goes, "Oh, he's playing NCAA College Football 2025," and Mike goes, "Wow, okay, that's fucked up."
Dude, I've been waiting to play all week. I've been out of town. I've not gotten a chance to play.
He didn't even call you, Mike.
I just want to play NCAA
Mike
football.
also didn't text me. That was my thing. Is like, I was like, oh, I wonder if Mike's gonna hit me up to play some Marvel Rivals. And I look on Twitch. Mike's an hour into a stream. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. Don't contact me, Mike.
You're a nap guy.
Maybe, Mike, if you just told Bless that you missed him, he would have invited you to play.
Well, we were all jazzed up after work. It felt really cool. Of like Roger and Blessing are in, Andy's going to be in. It's like, it was a cool vibe,
Our back's your College 25. Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Wednesday, next Wednesday, me and Bless are going to face off the Mizzou Illini game. We're excited about that. Yeah,
I'm really excited about this, because Bless has got really great game at, of course, FIFA, now known as FC.
Yeah.
And like, you and I have played. We've had some fun. So I'm excited to see where Bless lands on, American
So far,
football here.
I'm not great.
Okay.
Like, Greg mentioned he's taken a break since 2014.
Yeah.
I've probably taken a break since like 2005. It's been a very long time.
So I'll be excited for that match, whereas Mike, kick my teeth in. But it was the idea of like, with Mike, I've talked to you privately of like, I think one of the problems is I play it too real now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I didn't care, whatever. And so playing Poe, we did the first game, Mizzou versus whoever, right? neck and neck, back and forth. We're both old men playing this game, and I was like, this feels good. All right. Then the next game we did the random team business. Of
course.
I ended up with Arkansas, and lo and behold, it all clicked.
There it
because I'm
is.
like, right. I used to play my NCAA is based on Brad Smith, what means scramble like a maniac. So when I got out there and I had a quarterback who could move, I was like, oh, I put the whooping on Poe. I was like,
Yes.
all right, now I'm back. Now I'm here. Now I understand what I need to be doing.
That is the move of you're not a traditional football head. It is get the scrambling quarterback. And I've been blessed all of my days with college football of Tim Tebow at Florida,
Yeah.
now into Shadur Sanders of like, you are just running out of the pocket, hoping to figure something out.
Watch the play break down.
Yeah.
Your receivers move just in
Oh,
random
I get a free
positions.
10 yards because nobody was on QB spy. That's 10 yards first down. Oh, now I've done it. I've thrown it 40 yards to the broken play. That's a touchdown. Like, yeah, you got to have that scrambling quarterback.
Does it feel like you're running in mud in that game online?
Online? Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit for me. Me
really?
and Ron Q teamed up, and there's like, you can, not as bad as 2K
Okay.
basketball, but there's a level of like, oh, we just hit, I'm slowed down a half a step, and I don't like that.
Felt very good.
Good.
With
That's
Poe.
great.
So, yeah.
I like that.
I'm excited for next week.
We'll find out. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Kind of Funny Games cast for a lovely Thursday, July 25th. Let's jump into a couple of super chats to end the day. Spec Ops Labs writes in and says, sub through Amazon on Twitch. Thank you for your support. Don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime and you have Twitch Gaming, you can subscribe to us for free and help support the team and get ad-free viewing. Says, but wanted to stop by and say, hey, Snowbike Mike, you're the man. Whenever my mood is down slightly, one of his videos hits and makes me smile. Thanks, homie. I appreciate you allowing me to be part of your life and being a jabroni. Shout out to Cesar Gonzalez, who says, watching on my TV instead of my phone for the first time, and you all look 10% different. Mike, you have beautiful eyes. And Andy, you look a little sleepy today.
Oh, thank you.
That was my
Why'd you have to do that? Why'd you tack on the insult?
my first time my dad ever met Andy. He looked at me, he goes, looks kind of sleepy. I go, yeah,
Is that-
he's
no,
tired.
did he say like the guy with the hair or something like that? What did he say?
Looks kind of sleepy.
And I always am.
That's my
And then
secret.
Andrew VT says, I've been playing a lot of HoloCure Save the Fans. It takes inspiration from Vampire Survivors and playable characters that are VTubers in the Holoverse, maybe is probably what it is.
No, we don't need this. We don't need VTubers.
Yeah,
Where the
VTubers.
fuck is Vampire Survivors on PlayStation?
Need VTubers.
I thought you put out the call. I thought they were all about you.
They did. They're doing
Yeah, yeah.
it. It's this summer.
Figure it out.
Well, we still got like
Summer goes so
a couple months.
What, September?
Summer ends at
7th?
the end
End
of
the show.
August.
Let's not do this. Let's not start this fight.
September. It's September.
Yeah, you got till
September 29th.
mid-September.
something.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Gamescast for a lovely Thursday. We are not done with the content here at Kind of Funny. You got a whole day worth of fun. Of course, if you're watching live on Twitch, you don't got to go anywhere because we're going to take over your stream for a fun afternoon stream where me and Andy are going to play EDF, Earth Defense Force. Then Blessing and Andy are going to play some Marvel Rivals where you can get a closed beta code. And then Greg is taking over with Xanth for some more Diablo fun. Of course, if you're watching over on YouTube, we'll have a brand new link for you to go click over and support us there. Until then, thank you for watching. Thanks for having fun. Let us know in the comments below what you've been playing. Goodbye.